Hey, it's Clay at claytrader.com. This will be my top 10 stocks as we head into Monday, December 1st. This will be a technical analysis breakdown, so if you are someone that uses charts within your trading, or maybe you're just interested in learning more about charts and how they can be used as a tool to help make good decisions as a trader, this will be a video for you. First off, one quick clarification, and that is I'll be using the 30-minute time frame, meaning each one of these candlesticks here represents 30 minutes worth of time. And remember, the market did close early on Friday, so that's why you're not seeing an entire day. So just keep that in mind for context. So ticker symbol number one, we're looking at KTTA. Very nice mover, did this one previously and talked about how that final 30 minutes right there, price broke through that resistance level and then got great follow through on Friday. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of those lines as they've served their purpose down there, and we'll get some new levels here mapped out as we have another new nice little pattern here. So let's get this pattern drawn into play. So top part of the pattern, this area of resistance right there, and then bottom part, let's get this in play. In fact, I'm going to just extend it out from right here to kind of illustrate where this lower trend line is coming from. Let's change that to green to represent support. And then just to make sure everybody can see the pattern, let's keep it one color. So we have our area of resistance, we have our area of support, and then we have the nice upwards move right there. And then for you golfers, try to make a little bit more visual for you, put the golf hole down here. And this would be a bull pennant pattern. Now, just because something's bullish does not mean for sure guaranteed if the price consolidates out and breaks up that it's going to make a big move. My point here is that at least a valid question? And is it at least a plausible scenario as a possibility? Absolutely. So again, not guaranteed to happen, but a more than possible scenario if the price does get the breakout through that area right there. So if you like stocks down below $5, you like bull pennant patterns, definitely keep an eye on it. Next one here, BITF. Talked about this one previously and how this red line right there was the key area of resistance at $3.20. And you can see very nice clearance of that area. And now we have essentially what I just talked about. So I'm going to go through this one a little quicker because you just heard me talk about it and I want to respect your time as much as possible. So we have the same general pattern. We have this area of resistance right here. We have the lower part of the pattern right there. Again, green for support. And then just to make sure you can see it, let's keep it one color. So we have our area of resistance. We have our area of support. We have the nice upwards move right here, the golf hole down here. So we're looking at another bull pennant pattern. So if you like this price range, you like bull pennant patterns, you're starting to get some choices here headed into Monday. Next one here, NVDA. And this is just a nice kind of, I didn't draw it up this way, but it's working out. But a good reminder that just because something's a bullish pattern doesn't mean it's going up. And here we had going into Friday, you had a bull pennant pattern right here. But like I said, doesn't mean that it's for sure going up. Here we had, unfortunately, a break to the downside of that bull pennant pattern here on NVIDIA. So it's not like that destroyed the chart or anything like that. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying a kind of good little example there of why you don't want to just blindly buy just because something's in a bullish pattern. But so let's first start now with key areas of resistance. And the main level not to watch in the near term, going to be that purple line right there, that 50-period simple moving average right now valued at 178.80. And you can see right there, opening 30 minutes, the price came up there, tried to get through it, couldn't, got smacked right back down from it. So if the price does bounce, like I said, that'll be that first key battleground to watch, is that 50-period simple moving average. And then in terms of areas of support, if there is more of a pullback, then again, I'm not going to call this a do or die level, but it's certainly a preferable level that you'd like to see the price stay above is that 175 mark, because if the price were to come down here and then break down through it, the further it drifts below it, the more and more it starts to go, quote unquote, back to where it began. And not to insult your intelligence, but price movements that make great moves and then go back to where they began, not exactly a sign of genuine strength or power. Again, I'm not saying that's what's going to occur, but that's why 175 is important, because the price, as it gets lower and lower below it, it gets closer to, that possibility becoming a reality. But all in all, we'll see if NVIDIA can turn back upwards next week. Next one, AMZE, and this is a little tricky to talk about because it's all about perspective. If you're some sort of day trader, flipper, scalper, and you bought right there and your plan was to buy and sell within 15 minutes, well then yeah, from that standpoint, the chart's looking pretty rough because there was a pretty big pullback from that high right there. Now, if you care about the bigger picture point of view, even with a pullback, the price still has plenty of opportunity to chip away and build a higher base. And that is where this pink line here comes into play, that 200-period simple moving average. Now, I'm not saying this was what's going to happen, but just for explanation's sake, let's say the price did come down to that area and then did something like that. Now, emphasis here on big picture. From the big picture standpoint, what would you have? Well, you'd have a set of lows right there. You'd have a set of lows right there. You'd have a set of lows down there. And then you'd have lows even lower than that are kind of behind my ugly mug there. But point being, if now you envision each of these as stair steps, what do you have again? Emphasis on big picture. Well, from the big picture, you'd still have stair steps very clearly in the upwards direction. Again, I'm well aware that if you're a day trader and you bought right there, you don't care about these stair steps. But that's why I'm trying to parse it out and, kind of create the distinction of the context. So if you do care about this from the grand scheme of it all, the price, even with the pullback on Friday, still has plenty of opportunity to build an overall higher base. So if you like penny stocks and like these sorts of kind of overall stair-stepping patterns, certainly keep an eye on it. Next one here, BEAT, same general idea that I just talked about. It's all about perspective. Day trader scalpers that bought right there. Yeah, not a good looking situation for you. But overall, it is an interesting setup moving forward because, yes, this was a nasty fall. And this always becomes, when it gets down around there, a question of, is this just a gap and tramp? Was this just a pump and dump? And as of now, seemingly not. Now, there's still more work that needs to be done, but at least the price has started to now go sideways after that big pullback. Now, I wish I could say that trading was as easy as just wait for it to go sideways, and that means for sure, guaranteed, it's going back upwards. Not quite that easy, but does it make more sense? Absolutely, to throw out that question mark. Case in point, let's just say the price was still just dropping, and then I'm sitting here saying, hey, it's looking like this could be the bottom. You'd be totally justified to say, well, based on what, the price is literally still just dropping. But that's not the case here, right? It is at least starting to go sideways. So again, does that mean that the pullback is over? It doesn't. Does it become a little bit more valid of a question to throw out there? In my opinion, absolutely. So if you like these scenarios where you get the big move up and then you get a pretty nasty pullback and then all of a sudden it starts to go sideways and you like penny stocks, then certainly keep an eye on it. Real quick, want to take a break and help you solve a very common problem that maybe pertains to you, and that is a desire to be a day trader, and I am defining day trader as having unlimited day trades every single day, but you can't because of that pattern day trading rule. Well, I want you to be aware that there is a market out there, and there is a way to get involved in this market with very little risk, where there's no pattern day trading rule, and you can have, like I said, again, with very little risk, unlimited day trades every single day. But I'm well aware that this may sound a little too sketchy. What's the catch here? Totally get it. It's what I've been doing though. So I invite you, come swing by my live stream. I go and start every day at 11 a.m. Eastern, and I go for a few hours Monday to Friday and watch it with your very own eyes. Ask me any sort of questions that you do have, because I do totally understand it probably sounds a little bit sketchy, but please just be aware you don't have to allow yourself to be trapped under that pattern day trade rule if you would like to be a day trader with unlimited day trades every single day. Next one here, ticker symbol BBAI. Very nice move, and this will mean more to those of you that watched the video previously, but I talked about this red line here, and you can see today got the break up through there. Very nice move, but now we go into something I've already talked about, so I'm going to go and start to move a little quicker through this one, and that is we have ourselves another bull pennant pattern. So let's just get this into play. Get that lower part. Now, it does look a little bit different than the other ones, but the psychology is the exact same. So let's make sure this is all same color. So resistance, support, nice move up. If anything, you could also probably call this a bull flag pattern. Put the golf hold on here. But don't get too stuck with what's it called, what's it exactly look like, because it goes back to the psychology and just kind of what it's illustrating. What's it illustrating? Big move up. Now we have some consolidation, so that becomes a question. Will this consolidation lead to a nice continuation of the move? But any way you look at it, whatever you want to call it, if you like stocks down below $10, then certainly keep an eye on BBAI. Next one here, OPEN, and from an overarching standpoint, not a whole lot to really talk about at all, just because, yes, the prices continue to be stuck inside of the sideways channel that I've talked about time and time again over the past few days. Top of the channel resistance, $8.10. Bottom of the channel support, $7.50. But I will say from, a trading standpoint, pretty crazy movement. Opening 30 minutes, nasty move here. Got the breakout, acted like it wanted to be a break through the upper part of the channel, and then from there, just flushed right back down. So again, intraday for some people out there, Friday was an absolute train wreck. That we're trying to play that breakout. They got tricked, and that's just how the market is sometimes. Very, very nasty. With that said, if you're not one of those people, then nothing really changed. In fact, the price is almost dead center, middle of this, sideways channel that I already talked about. So it's all a matter of perspective. People that care about the grand scheme of things, yeah, still stuck inside of that channel. But some people probably had a really bad Friday if they bought that breakout thinking it was something bigger. But all in all, $8.10 remains the key area of resistance, and $7.50 remains the key area of support. Next one, CLSK, and once again, I'm going to go through this very quickly, because you've heard me talk about this pattern several times now. But yeah, one of those days where sometimes you just get a whole lot of the same pattern created kind of across the board, and I just can't help myself, so want to make it the same color. Just make sure everybody sees it. Resistance, support, nice move up right there. Golf hold on here. We were looking at another bull pennant pattern. I'd say probably the biggest difference here is this one's on a little bit more of an expensive stock, as this one is up over the $10 mark. So if you prefer to stay in this price range, but you do like bull pennants, you like stocks and nice strong overall uptrends, which this one is in, then certainly keep an eye on CLSK. Next one here, SOXS, and let's get some things drawn into play here. So we have that lower part. Let's change that to green. And then let's get the upper part of this in play. There we go, right there. And this is what would be called a falling wedge pattern, which is actually a bullish pattern. You would think a falling wedge would be bearish, but actually the rising wedge is the bearish one. But case in point, we do have a nice quality falling wedge pattern, as I mentioned already with the bull pennants. Just because there is the bullish pattern does not mean that for sure guaranteed the price, if it bounces off the lower part of that trend line here and then comes up, is going to create some sort of bigger movement. But once again, is this at least a valid question to throw out there as a possibility? Absolutely. So if you like the price range down below $5, you like falling wedge patterns, then definitely keep an eye on SOXS. Next one, TSLA Tesla. And overall, the chart's making progress. And this will mean more to those of you that watched the previous videos. But if you have, hopefully remember me talking about 429.35-ish as an area of resistance. And that's where the price, it did break above it several times on Friday, but it could just never get any separation. It could never really, maintain any sort of gain. So to be fair, the price did slightly close above the red line. But like I said, as of right now, there are multiple other occasions where it looked like it was going to be a breakout, came back down. Looked like it was going to be a breakout, came back down. This one looks like it could be another breakout, but to be fair, hopefully nobody would be shocked if it did come back down. It doesn't mean it will. Maybe this is the start of a much bigger breakout. But my point here is it's kind of in a very tricky spot because this red line has just really kind of been faking people out. Where all of a sudden it looks like, nope, looks like, nope, sorry again. But maybe this is actually the true breakout. So just keep that in mind. I'm going to get rid of that level. And maybe to help kind of answer that question on whether or not it's a true breakout is by putting this upward trend line in play right there. So keep an eye on that. But from the big picture of things, as long as the price continues to stay above that purple line, which it's been doing, and you can see the purple line about to cross up through the 200 period right there, called the golden cross, which I think is kind of overrated. Some people really love golden crosses, and if that's you, fine. I personally think they're a little overrated, but nonetheless, it is good to see that the purple line is increasing, and it's about to, do the golden cross, get back above that pink line right there, that 200 period moving average. But at the end of the day, interesting final portion of the day. Can the price get the break up above that trend line and stay up above it? Grab your popcorn for next week. So that wraps up the top 10 list. Again, if you are sick and tired of the pattern day trading rule, or you just want a market that quite frankly moves way better than the stock market anyways, is open 23 hours a day, 6 days a week, and most importantly, keeps your risk very, very minimal, then check out what I've been doing. Swing by the live stream, watch it with your very own eyes, ask me any sort of questions, I'd be happy to provide any sort of clarity that you may need. But just understand, you don't have to be trapped under the pattern day trading rule if you don't want to. So thanks for hanging out. Everybody have a great weekend, and on your way out, make sure you hit that like button. Take care, and hopefully I'll see you on the live stream.